Hey, what's up? What's going on? Hey, political Danqhouse. It's been a long week. You know where to find me at. It's your boy, Dylan James, Elron Humpperdink. Here with you on a Saturday. Well, it's Sunday morning now, and I've got a lot of stuff. I actually went through this like a plan. And so, this is what we're going to be discussing. The Booger Kang appreciates your positive feedback. Propaganda prince right there with his pussy hat. The fascists and, tranny and all this gay stuff. But, we're going to get right into it at the risk of sounding like King. Okay. What is up with this? Got not Burger King, but British have made throwing milkshakes at the far right a thing. Depends on what you mean by far right. I always call myself hard right. I mean, I'm technically to them far right, but far right to Stalin is, a godsend. So I just don't like all these smarmy cunts that are like, we're fighting fascism, you're throwing a milkshake. A real fascist would beat your brains in. You wouldn't have cops being able to a real fascist person wouldn't have cops scuffling them away. The cops would leave the person that got milkshaked and club the shit out of the bitch that did it. That's why I thought what was his name in Australia? God, it always slips my mind. Not Anders, but anyways, he got popped in the head with an egg. Taking forever. This shit's acting slow. Egg boy. Fraser Anning in it? Yep, Anning, see? He got popped with the egg. I mean, it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, I got you. Or ha ha. And you're thinking, bitch, you're not fighting anything. That's what insults me. Not the egg, not the milkshake, not the... But you'll see why I'm bringing all this up. Here you go. What is milkshaking? So let me rewind this. This acting like it's lagging. Hey, look at that little cunt, the way he's smiling. Sargon. Farage. Look at all these bitches holding a sign. Like they think holding a sign is doing something too. Tommy Robinson wins. Milkshaking becomes so real that police asked McDonald's restaurant not to sell them because people are having rallies and they're asking them not to be sold. Before Farage appeared at a rally nearby. See, let me do this from the beginning again one more time so y'all can see this. I think this is theirs. See this little bald cuck bitch, boy. Look at him. Look at that. You see that right there? That is a fucking new male if I've ever seen one. See him? He didn't even get for the face. Watch this smiling bitch. See? I'm fighting. I have no words. What? I saw that, but I saw this on Twitter, right? You know where to follow me. Whatever this shit is here. But you follow me at DJ Line Barrier. Like line and barrier. But I saw this. It's this Ian Dunt, who I don't know who this is. It says editor of politics.co.uk, author of Breakfast What the Hell Happens host now, right? But I think I'll get into... I had this loaded up. Here it is. Thank God. Look, I saw this before all this. Burger King in the UK is actively encouraging and endorsing assaults on right-wing political candidates. Fuck at Burger King. And Burger King's always been paused, and we'll see that in these videos coming up. They've always been like down for the cause, but people are, for those who don't get the reference, hard left activists and Islamic sympathizers have been throwing milkshakes at political candidates during this election cycle. At Burger King UK appears to be endorsing that. Wonder if this election, or wonder if the Met CC, that's the Metropolitan Contact Center, which is the police for London, will investigate clear incitement. You know they won't. He wrote that, I think, today, milkshake tomorrow, or whatever, and he's like, nah, fuck you, no thanks, LOL, 2,000 followers. But people are like, oh, so now it matters because whatever. And they get into semantic stuff. Oh, so you're big enough to respond, but then you're attacking his followers. That's what gamma people will do. They call them gamma trolls. They're trying to get you off your feet. They don't really care. The thing I don't respect about people is they won't say, yeah, I'm okay with this. They go, well, why are you going to talk about how many followers I have? You don't ever go down that road with someone and just say, I don't care how many followers you have. You're wrong. Because here's the response before I get to the main tweet. I'm building it up to it. This should not need saying, but apparently it does. Throwing a milkshake at someone is a non-violent act. It's not the same, nor is the prelude to people throwing acid or bricks at someone, and is most certainly not the same as murdering an MP. Well, if you put murder beside throwing a milkshake, it's different. But they're both violent. They're both acts of violence. Because to them, because this fag right here, editor of politics.co.uk that I'm talking about, he probably thinks that misgendering someone is violence. He probably thinks that there's problematic rhetoric. So if anything, ruining someone's day is a violent offense to these clowns. And don't you think that throwing milkshakes on a suit is a big deal? It's something that's not civilized. And if they want to say, well, the right's not civilized, we're giving them what they want, or giving it back to them. I don't see any of these people getting milkshaked, whatever they want to call it. Farage, Sargon, Tommy Robinson, all these people, Dankula, or Mark Meechan, for people that don't know his real name, Count Dankula. I don't see them advocating this, and they're the only ones getting milkshaked, and I don't see them doing that to other people. So I don't want to hear well, we're fighting them, in ways that we're supposed to and all that, because they're not advocating for that. And I guess this bitch ass thing with the milkshake is like milk, white power, because milk's white. You remember how 4chan trolled all these retards, and they're still carrying a lie. But these people, these quote unquote resistance, I'm talking about people that resist decency at this point. They're still peddling stuff like Pissgate and stuff for Trump. So I'm not surprised. And this person was talking about it most certainly is not the same as murdering an MP, a disgraceful comparison which people should not be making. Then he said, the nonviolent mockery of politicians, and especially the far and hard right, has been a long honorable history in this country. This falls within that. Let's see. So, nonviolent mockery of politicians. You're not fucking throwing a ball at Nigel Farage in a dunk pit, and it's where it says lefties get a free turn to knock me in, where it's consent. No, you're going up to somebody and throwing a milkshake on them. And so this fucking fruitcake said this should not be saying. Apparently it does. Acting like we're in the wrong. Like, can't you guys you guys are slowing down progress. We have to slow down and teach you that throwing milkshake and liquids at people is not violent, which it is. It's just the dumbest shit. Like, I know people cry about censorship and stuff like that, but people like this honestly shouldn't have a voice. If they're going to say stuff like that, they shouldn't talk. Or they should be in the position of where they can be acted upon. In Minecraft, like back in the day, people used to get slapped in the mouth for calling people names and stuff, and eventually you'd stop saying stuff around certain people. This guy right here, I only say that, and I'm not advocating for it, but in the world where that was at, this guy would not be trying to do this gamma shit where he's like, it's not that big a deal, guys, it's just milkshake. Yeah, knocking somebody's food off the table is a nonviolent offense too, because you're not hitting the person. The food has no feeling. That's a nonviolent offense. Is that what he means? So if I went up to him during lunch, Oh, he's a busy guy. Ian Dunt, more like Ian Dunce, editor of politics. Like, oh, I got a 15 minutes out of my 12 hours I work to try and create the news instead of just report on it like everybody's doing. That's why your newspapers are failing. My short break. I need to go up and slap his damn cappuccino out of his hand and say, hey, cunt, this is nonviolent. I'm assaulting your cup, not you. You think he's still going to be, perturbed? Like his day was messed with in a sense. His routine was shocked. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing when you're dumping milk on someone's suit that they're dressed up to go advocate for things. And you're not proving a point. You're just being a little petulant bitch. Making sure y'all can see this. But I'll put it here just in case. See it? This should not be saying, but apparently it does, blah, blah, blah. So, I said to this fag, I said, if throwing a cold milkshake at someone isn't assault, then neither is throwing boiling water at someone, according to Ian Dunt, not me. And it said, you heard, Count Dankula, he said, you heard Ian throwing milkshakes at Remainers. It isn't a violent act, so it's fine. Ian's a good sport. Ian, which flavor would you like? And, I think I don't really care about Ricky Gervais, to be honest with you. I have nothing against him, but I'm not like, oh God, that's right, you tell him. See, he hosts a rock and he does a lot of gay stuff. See, he's a cunt. He's a cunt too, but T27. Look at the little fat. He just looks like a bitch. But he had a tweet, and it was up. Can't find it now. But here it is. Sorry. Said I voted Remain. I would still like to stay in Europe. Dummy. I hate these word games because you can be out of the European Union and you're still in Europe. It's just like with North American Union over here. We've shot it down for now. They're coming after us too. We won't. When America says no, Canada, Mexico can have it, but we'll stay America if it happened under Trump. We're still in North American landmass. So I don't know if he's being snakish or if he's just a dunce. But he said, I voted Remain. I would like to stay in Europe. I will argue with people who disagree with me, always respecting their right to do so. What I won't do is throw things at them. That would mean I had run out of good arguments. It would also mean I deserve a smack in the mouth. See, he's saying what I say. We can agree on that. I'd be interested on your take on remaining because you're probably one of the most rational people that side can put up. Let's hear it. See, you guys can get into that if you want. It's Ricky Gervais. Here's the status here. And, see, he's a godless ape. He's in... What bothers me about this radical left shit, it bothers me more than it does you classic liberals out there, because they're hijacking your party. Sort of like if you think of a neocons hijacks truly conservative, because conservative is like, I don't even want to go to war type of thing, right? But he's problematic, godless actor, comedian, actor, writer, director. I don't like any of those things. I mean, comedian, but give or take, you know what I mean? I'm not a fan of the whole godless thing. I guess say afterlife, unless that's one of his things that he promotes. How can you have afterlife if you're godless? But anyways, me and him, it's up to people like me and him to have to be unlikely crossed paths because lefties are so retarded. But see, he's an old school lefty, I would say, the classic liberals that are still out there. And so I still reserve that right. They're taking over the liberals, just like how you're gonna have to, like somebody like me is gonna have to stop saying I'm conservative. Because what have they conserved? It's just like with the liberals, the people that are calling, I don't know where y'all are at on y'all's threshold, but you're at the part now where it's close to being too late to call yourself liberal because the people that, I know that they're not. I know that they're not, but the world's not going to look at it that way. It's like somebody that says they're a fan of like Miami Heat or anybody, right? They'll wear somebody's jersey and they don't know as much about a sports player as you. But someone like me that doesn't follow sports they're still gonna know more than me, and they're gonna be that representation of all fans, at least at some point in somebody's mind. I understand that ruins things, but that's just how it's happening. Milkshake's thrown. But Ian Dunt's more like it. But here's what they were all talking about. Dear people of... So you heard the story. Nigel Farage, and they're doing it with other people too. They're saying, could you please not serve milkshakes at this time? Which, there's not... I don't hear anybody saying it's unfair that I can't get a milkshake. I'm sure there's people like that out there now, but there's too much big stuff happening, I guess, to hear that, or I haven't seen tweets and stuff like that. But I think it's unfair that people have to suffer because of cunts like this. I make the same argument with guns here in America that I would the milkshakes or wherever, in the UK. Because of a bunch of cunts, there's a time when you may have your lunch break and want a milkshake from Burger King or even McDonald's, and what would you go even McFrappe. I'm sure the frozen coffees, which I love, you probably can't get some of them either. But a bunch of low-level retards are ruining it for the rest of us civilized, and I would throw even people that I disagree with, like Gervais, in there. So that's the real far outs that people are talking about. I say I'm farther than whatever, but that doesn't make me the lunatic that they use the word far for. See, I'm just non-conventional, I guess would be a better term. But people like Burger King, they're loving this turmoil. Look, this is what started it. I did everybody's response to it so we could break this down. Dear people of Scotland, we're selling milkshakes all weekend. Have fun. Love BK. Hashtag just saying. People want to say, well, they didn't mean anything by it, whatever. The fucking hashtag just saying. No one ever uses hashtag just saying. Like, if they were to put hashtag to let you know or something, even if it's something like that, you could pass it. But hashtag just saying, they might as well have just left the T out. So it's hashtag just saying. And without the G, hashtag just saying. Like some Snapchat shit. And it said, we'd never endorse violence or wasting our delicious milkshake. Yeah, because wasting the delicious milkshake such a terrible crime of humanity against you, since it's already sold and you've got the money and it's somebody else ruining their shit. Why would you care what they do with the milkshake after they buy it? You want to be so socially liberal, why can't you be fiscally liberal? I mean, conservatively liberal, or fiscally conservatives do the same thing. If you buy it, whatever, it's yours when you buy it. But they're just throwing it in there so they would say, we would never endorse violence, and then they're switching it to something playful, so you immediately think about how tense that is of a situation. Why would they have to bring that up? So then you go, we're wasting our delicious milkshakes. Oh, it's just another plug. So enjoy the weekend, and please drink responsibly, people. What does drink responsibly even mean? It's almost like they're just like trying to slap somebody, like backslap somebody, like drink responsibly. Like, what does that mean? Aim, hit your target. You don't even know. Minnie Robinson, I saw her because she was on here, and it says, hey, Burger King, passive aggressively encouraging your customers to continue to use salt, Tommy Robinson with milkshake is just super classy. That's just another reason why Chick-fil-A is superior to you and your garbage food and weird fries every single day. And people could say, oh, well, you just like it because it goes with your whatever, my ideology or anything, but I really do like Chick-fil-A. And I've done it in other videos. I've talked about people that want to complain about Chick-fil-A, about their traditional views, gays, and all these other people, and I said no one's taken a bigger hit than me, both in and out of faith before and now, because no one ever wants something as more than when a company's closed. And I always want something on Chick-fil-A. I always want something on a Sunday, and it's great food, but it's just, I would pick them over Burger King too. But Burger King has a history apparently of doing these quote-unquote paused ads, for lack of a better term. But my buddy Pozz was doing Paramite. Was doing this. We're talking about Daniel Schwartz. He's the CEO. Schwartz, the echoes, And it just has how a 32-year-old became CEO of Burger King. Daniel Schwartz is running Burger King like a startup rather than a fast food behemoth. Look, this is a typo. Live time, political Danqhouse sniping. Daniel Schwartz is running Burger King like a startup than a fast food behemoth. Here's what happened. Fake news. Fake fucking news. They can't even spell right. See what I do to them? Anyways. More like a startup rather than a fast food behemoth. Anyways. Look at this fucking dork. And I'm not saying that because of the nature of this stream or video, whatever. Look at this dunce. Oh my God. What's cheesier, this dude's smile or that burger? I mean, mother of God. In 2013, Burger King announced that Daniel Schwartz, a 32-year-old Cornell graduate, was going to take over as CEO. Funny how they're all connected, isn't it? Complete with an annual salary of $700,000, a potential cash bonus of $1.5 million. He never worked in a restaurant, didn't climb the corporate ladder, and had only been there with the company for 3 years. Sounds like some in-group preference, if you ask me. Seems crazy? The only crazy part is how much sense it makes. Here's the backstory. Tell us. Making moves. Daniel Schwartz had a typical suburban upbringing. Oh, yes, great, you know. He grew up on Long Island and attended the Wheatley School, where he played basketball and was an honor student. After high school, Daniel shipped off 4 hours upstate to Cornell, where he made the dean's list. And in 2001, he was on a plane. No, I'm just playing. In 2001, he graduated with a degree in management and applied economics. You know, decent fields, I guess, for this. And I don't see business as management, so, you know, it's okay. A couple stints at Credit Suisse, I guess, and a hedge fund later. Oh, hedge fund. Ooh, all these liberals are so mad about hedge funds. And all this money that they claim everything's dark money. But Daniel saw that the Brazilian-based investment firm 3G Capital was opening an office in New York and was looking for recruits. It was 2005. Daniel had just turned 24, and he thought it seemed like a good fit. 3G Capital agreed, and he got the job. In case you aren't familiar with 3G Capital, here's some of their bigger bullet points. They created a company called InBev in 1999. InBev merged with Belgian-based company Interbrew in 2004. InBev is what it became. InBev bought Anheuser-Busch in 2008 for $52 billion, which is Bud Light. In 2010, 3G Capital bought Burger King for $3.3 billion, and that's the Whoppers. In 2014, they bought the Canadian chain Tim Hortons, and I think Tim Hortons is, well, it's its own thing, but I think it's kind of like our Hardee's, maybe. I don't think it's Steakhouse or something, but $12.5 billion, and it merged it with Burger King and formed Restaurant Brands International, Coffee, Donuts, and Burgers, which is weird. I don't ever see Coffee, Donuts, and Burgers. You know, at least with coffee first, you never hear of something that's like a coffee dominant begin to start serving burgers. You know, you have something like a fast food joint that has food, and then they become like, we'll do frappes or we'll do frozen whatever, right? And it may just be the way they ordered it, but you know me, I'm hyped as hell on the weekend right now. In 2015, they partnered with Berkshire Hathaway to buy Kraft. Oh, damn, these people are buying the hell out of each other. And merge it with Heinz, forming the Kraft Heinz company. Is worth about $46 billion, which is cheese, ketchup, and everything. So this is really like almost oligopoly or oligopoly, whatever. All the products, like cheese and all this stuff, not only does Burger King have its own franchise and its way to make these things, it's starting to own and interlope with the companies that make their items they put on it, the cheese, the lettuce, drinks, coffee, donuts, burgers, ketchup, cheese. If they wanted to sell beer, which they do in Europe, they sell beer at McDonald's and Burger King, and everybody acts like, "Oh, that's so cool." No, it's just because you're not used to it. It's still going to look as dumb or as not as interesting as going to like a restaurant and seeing somebody drink, you know, a cup of beers. Who cares? Oh, Europe, I'm not shitting on Europe either. I'm shitting on the people that act like that's different. It's like, oh yeah, and they drive on the left side of the road in England. You gonna shit a chicken and then put it in between two buns and sell it to me? Needless to say, they like big old American staples and aren't fucking around. Whoa, damn. Guys, I'm probably gonna have to end the stream early. I didn't know there was gonna be coarse language in this. So edgy. But, and don't talk shit about me because I come from the Xbox Live generation, so. Back to Burger King and our young CEO. Daniel played a key role pushing papers during the acquisition, and after all it was finalized, he became Deputy Chief Financial Officer of the fast food chain. It was his job to cut unnecessary expenditures like the corporate jet, the extravagant annual company party at an Italian chateau, and, of course, the fancy mahogany offices. Fair point. I'm not against that. These cutbacks didn't stop at the big ticket items either. Apparently, it required everyone to make long distance calls on Skype to save phone bills. send files via email instead of FedEx, and use communal printers to guilt people into saving paper. That's why in 2013, when the head honcho left to run Heinz, also owned by 3G Capital, just keep in mind that all this stuff's owned. I'm learning this too. This is like the damn Federal Reserve, but with condiments. It was an easy decision to promote Daniel as the 21st CEO of Burger King. To put a 32-year-old CEO in perspective, the average age of CEOs in the S&P 500 is 57. Zuck being around the youngest at 30, Warren Buffett the oldest at 84. But think about all these people, how they're connected and what they all have in common. Zuckerberg, you know what I mean? When you're a test tube baby like Zuckerberg, you were, groomed to be in that position. He's really just the face of Facebook. So like how this Schwartz guy is just going to be the Facebook of Burger King. They had a face, it was the king, but they got rid of it because apparently it's too creepy. And that's what our thing was about, our little thumbnail. The Booger Kang. But is this stuff legit? Let's see how far, okay. Is this stuff legit? Organizers like 3G Capital make their money through mergers and acquisitions, buying, selling, dividing, and combining companies to create value. Apparently, we figured that out so far, hustle. It's a chess match played with spreadsheets and a means of sparking growth through market dynamics and organizational efficiency rather than relying solely on stuff like product marketing and sales. See, that's what I meant. They're also they're not just product marketing and sales. They're getting in with the product companies like Heinz and stuff. In Monopoly terms, it's like two players teaming up halfway through the game to create a monopoly instead of grinding it out until everyone else gets bored, or everyone gets bored. One has Vintner, the other has Marvin Gardens and Atlantic, and these are streets, I guess, and combined they can start building houses. It's called a partnership. This person I'm not going to judge like the way they lean or whatever, but there's a lot of people that when something's it's being made to sound fascinating, people go, that's a good read, and then the same stuff these people are doing, just because it's been written in vanity, they don't say anything. But anybody else wants to merge a company, it's probably those damn Republicans or things like that. This type of business is totally legal, but it really opens the door to exploiting loopholes to gain every advantage possible. See? That's my thing, is if you got a problem with this, fine, but like, it's legal. Like when people always go, you can't do that, you go, are you making the moral argument or the economical argument? Because the legal argument, they can do it. Change the law. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying you'd have to. And I'm not even saying, it's okay or not, right? For example, people got pretty peeved when Burger King merged with Tim Hortons in 2014 because from an outside perspective, it looked like a clear case of tax inversion when American companies relocate overseas to avoid paying U.S. taxes. Maybe this was true, maybe not. So, who cares, really? Who cares? Burger King claimed in a statement that the transaction, quote, was driven by growth, not tax rates. According to the watchdog group Americans for Tax Fairness, however, they're projecting to save as much as $820 million by 2018 from foregone capital gains taxes. And that's fine as long as that's legal. I just want to keep that. I would just keep that in mind when I hear things like this. That way, when Burger King wants to bitch and cry about jobs being outsourced overseas, if it was somebody like Trump or the tax rate, this is not good. And we're selling milkshakes at half price. Come by and enjoy a milkshake because everybody deserves a good item, or delicious milkshake on such a terrible day as Trump's tax plan. I don't ever want to hear them say something about that because they just shirk this off. And I'm not getting mad at them over this, but like I just said, it's literally hypocritical if they want to start talking about taxes and stuff in the future. If anybody that's ever read what we just did, because it's legal and it wasn't about taxes, it was about growth, which I have no reason to confirm or deny that. But I'm not going to hear them trying to wedge issues like they do. A changing of the guard, this type of drastic shift in mentality doesn't happen every day for big corporations, and from my perspective, it's strangely refreshing. Investors like 3G Capital look to make big changes quickly, and as a result are willing to take risk on young enthusiasm over experience. I'm an artist type of guy, so I understand the enthusiasm and stuff, but you've got to have a fucking plan, and you got to know how to get that plan done. That's what a CEO's job is. The CEO is not supposed to be the person who's like, this red is really more like a a hot orange, but human eye is not going to be able to see that in the Burger King. And the color orange is supposed to collide with that decently yellow looking bun, sir, and it's going to trigger the I'm hungry and the excited nature in people, color theory, in people's body. They're not supposed to know that. They're supposed to crunch numbers. They're supposed to be cutthroat financially, like these people appear to do, but you don't send somebody in there saying, we're going to change this shit up. It's like if anybody watched SpongeBob when they took over the Krusty Krab, Sandy did, and it was Pearl, Krab's daughter, and she started selling salads. What are salads? And she just completely, my ambition. She didn't have any experience, but it's just like these young kids when they talk about gun control and stuff. Their passion's there. AOC. Oh well, who cares if she put something through Congress that even her own people didn't vote for? It's the ambition that counts. And I'm not saying there's a stonewall of experience, because you have to start somewhere. I don't like a lot of these kids are set up to fail today because on their resumes and stuff, or when they do the information to sign up for a job, they say you need 2 years of experience in this job, and you just got a high school. How is that going to work? And this is not like a higher up from what they say you should have experience in. These are both level jobs, and so you go to one that says, can you get another job that has experience? The other one, what about that job over there? Have you done that job to get experience? And you're like, I can't. I have to start somewhere. So I understand that. You have to start somewhere, so experience isn't everything, but experience more than notoriety, rather, where you know what you're doing. Just because you're not established doesn't mean you don't know what to do experience-wise. But just look at the exclusive team, the CFO, and I don't know what CFO is. I know it's a different thing, but is a 28 and the head of investor relations is 29. Cool, they've got the energy, but do they have the patience? Do they have the wisdom? Do they have the maturation? Now, instead of bloated, slow-moving behemoth, like the company updated its strategy, trimmed some fat, and invested in high-growth areas, it's operating like a startup. So, startup, I don't know. As an artist, for some reason, all these words that would be in my field are cringy to me. Startup. It's a startup company. I mean, the word firm's badass, but, you don't even hear people use stuff like that. But I wonder if that was a stab at somebody now, bloated, slow-moving behemoth, like old people ruling it. They're all greedy and stuff, so how could you have they're not saying this, but how could you have an old greedy CEO that only cares about money while at the same time praising somebody for making decisions and ambitious moves that are going to win you more money? It would have to do with hoarding it? Because what they just said, there's people of tax status in the field of taxes, not me, we just read it, that are going after them for that. So it could be about money too. You can't act like you're above it. That's part of it, Them being ambitious also has to do with them getting the money. So it's, greed's good in that case, I guess. But you know what I mean. I don't have a problem with people getting more money. I don't even care about people being greedy. If they make their money, if people are paying you for a milkshake to throw on somebody. And so far, the results are speaking for themselves. Between 2013 and December of 2014, Burger King shares have gone up roughly 60%, and their market cap doubled to over $9 billion. That means, considering the original price of tax for profit, 3G Capital was essentially able to buy the company for nothing. Clearly, they're happy with the new direction. See, even franchise owners love the change and are happy with Schwartz, calling him extremely smart and a very fast learner. Why did he have to learn things if he didn't need? He'd have to learn stuff because he didn't have experience. But if having no experience made you a fresh person, and that's what they needed, then why would you have to learn new things or be a fast learner? Wouldn't you be the teacher at that point? Wouldn't everybody else need to be the learner because you're coming in as the wrecking ball? Like if you look at Trump in the politics terms, and even his business, but he came in and everybody's trying to model their way of campaigning and stuff around him now to keep up. It's not that he had to learn from them. Maybe the way some of the government works, but as far as branding, which is what we're talking about, the newcomer shouldn't be learning from anybody. They're supposed to be set in the way. That's part of being the firebrand. They're painting him to be a firebrand, and then he's also got to learn things. Come on, give me a break. Needless to say, things are working out well so far for the young CEO. I guess it should have been expected through that based on the senior quote from 1998. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. William Shakespeare, 12th night. Is that William? Shakespeare. If you want to learn more about Schwartz, check out Bloomberg's piece called Burger King is run by children. It's written by It's a QC illustrator. I'm gonna go get a Whopper. Oh my god. Burger King is run by jackasses. See, this whole age, the younger you are, whatever. I used to think, like, I don't like getting shit on because I'm young. But damn, if the older you get, you know that there's a message that people are trying to push. Here's the ad that people are talking about. Hashtag depression staff, depressed customers, depressive food, Burger King. Well, this is hashtag feel your way. And yeah, I disliked it because I said, but watch.
Not everybody wakes up happy. Sometimes you feel sad, scared, crappy. All I ask is that you let me feel my way.
Feeling blue. Kinda down. Can't wait to leave this closed-minded town.
My boss is such a freaking creep. I just told him to go f himself.
Ooh, edgy. This doesn't make me hungry. And I'm not saying this because I'm being aggro. Look, I need to leave this closed-minded town. If you're a skank, that's a little too open-minded.
I can't believe my student loan. I'm never moving out of my parents' home.
Just got ghosted. Should've known. Pretty sure I'll end up alone.
Oh.
They say I'm too young to raise my baby girl. Take your opinions and suck it, world.
Nice, mother. Where's your father? Where's the father of your child? That's what I'm asking about. I literally have not seen this. This is the weirdest shit I've seen. They should have called Thug on it because she's acting like one. No one is happy all the time, and that's okay. What does that even change about anything? I don't give a fuck meal, does that mean they just throw your shit in there? That would be funny. If it was the extra salty meal, it'd be funny if they just took the damn cap off of it, dumped salt on your thing, and was like, there you go. Or made it sweet, you know, to be to do the opposite of salty or whatever it would be. That pissed meal, is that like really hot sauce and stuff? The blue meal, you should sell them like moldy ass bread and meat, and it would be blue, right? The Yas meal. God, Yas is so overkill. I don't even know what that would be. Maybe when you eat that, it gives you AIDS. It makes you legit pause. The trumpet don't give a fuck meal. Support mental health. That's just, there's a way you can do things, and I went to school for this. I went to school for design. We used to watch stuff like this, and even my lefty liberal professor, who's like a classic liberal, would she gets it, and I get this, but this is not the place for it. This is what they were going for, I know, but make something that shows that it improves people's lives. Depressed staff, depressed customers. See, look, it's such. I know it's about mental health, but if you're trying to get somebody to buy something in marketing, we learn you want to make them happy. You want to associate the product with making them feel better and happy. And this didn't do that. This says, let me feel the way I want to. So it's really subliminal. You may not know this, but it's going into your mind and making you think, I'm still always going to be sad. Like that, the black fella said, I'm always going to be alone. Will still be Burger King. It's almost like it's more of a here's how to eat to cope with problems than it is solving them. Look, Burger King, you're sad, so dangerously increase your sodium levels to end it all faster. Plus, here's a box. Thanks, BK. This helped me quit my job at Burger King. Thanks, Burger King. Honestly, respect Burger King, not for this ad, but for being brave enough to leave the comment section open. I have depression, and this makes me never want Burger King again. You're not woke. You're users. It's just weird. Here's mybkexperience.com. I think you got to order, but if you ever do, and I'm not telling you to take them down or anything like that, but if you don't agree with this shit, I've got my buddy that said Paramite Pie. He's been talking about this. He's emailed complaints to Burger King, and people say, "Why do you have to care so much? It's just a commercial." No, it's more than just a commercial, because an ad, it's supposed to be an ad. It's supposed to be advertising food. This isn't Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil doesn't get on his show and in live time talk about Burger King. But I have Pat McCrory up here as the governor of North Carolina. It's just, I think I brought him up in this stream, or when I was researching this earlier, because it just seems like one of those leftist things where, oh, we put, think about all the mental whatever people, right? Instead of saying, buy this new limited time burger, the wacky burger or the wild burger, and even if, because they would probably say, well, you're making fun of people saying they're wacky or whatever. You could sell a wacky burger and then make it about somebody that's whacked out of their mind or something, right? I don't know if it's mental health awareness. I don't know why they don't have a tranny burger, a mentally ill burger. But it reminds me of the same thing. They think they're doing something when they're really just doing something stupid as shit. Like with the McCrory thing, when HB2 came out and we didn't want girls in the men in the girls' bathrooms, just to be open. They started bullying and they took away the All-Star game and stuff with basketball. My brother's a fan of basketball, and a lot of friends are. A lot of people around here said, you know what, fuck them for doing that. They didn't say, oh, my basketball, let me change my mind. And stupid fuckers like Pearl Jam and always with Bruce Springsteen, like, screw all them anyways, but they punished half the people or more. They say that so many people in North Carolina, only a few bigots did. Well, then you punished 85% of the people, the state, and people that would have wanted to see you in concert by trying to boycott and shut your ass. If anything, it was just to attack the government, and you're all the time talking about the government not using stuff at the expense of the people, and they have to suffer. The people that want to see you in North Carolina had to move to another, or go to another state to see you because of your moves. If I was you, and I'm a musician, which I am, I would go on stage and during my shows, during in between songs, say we don't agree with what's going on here, blah 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 blah. That'd actually be more influential. But instead you got people like that going around to McCrory and stuff in the Capitol at the time going, shame, 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 shame. They didn't have an argument. They're just like these milkshake throwers. Let me just throw a milkshake. Let me throw a milkshake. No words. Oh, wow. You saw the cuck that we showed him with the bald and cuck face. He was, I got farage. And somebody's looking at Sargon like, that's right, you're going to get shaked. It's like, God, you pussies. Same thing with the McCrory thing. Shame, shame, shame. What does that even mean? He just walked through them like, whatever. You idiots, you don't have an argument. Look, they got rid of him. Maybe it's for, I don't know if it's for this, or maybe they retired him before. But look, this is back when BK apparently had balls. The people said he was creepy, but sure he was creepy. But look, this shit right here would never fly with what they're trying to go with now. Be a damn shame if somebody brought that up to Burger King and reminded them, because Burger King wants to be woke, and I think it has a lot to do with Mr. Schwartz taking the reins. Here's something with Conor McGregor. I brought that up because I remember a lot of people were saying, look, and sure this is tongue-in-cheek and snarky. I'm not gonna watch it. I just wanted to see this. Look, it's Vice, so you know they're trying to be edgy. Look, Conor McGregor's Burger King commercial is deeply embarrassing, but also very cool. But they have this in here, deeply embarrassing. They may just be playing on words or making it stand out to get views. But deeply embarrassing, I just thought it'd be funny that people of Vice would think that that's deeply embarrassing, but not that piece of shit commercial we just watched. It was just absolute ass. Or making something about more than selling burgers. Just think of it like this. There's people out there that sell weed to people. Let's just be real. There's people out there that sell weed to people or whatever. They don't. You've seen the movies when they do it. There's people there that say, I'm not here to tell you about my fucking problems. I don't want to hear your problem. I'm just here to sell you your product and go. Get in, to my apartment and get the hell out like they do in the movies. Burger King, you're really just supposed to go to their place, get your burger, and get out. You can stay and party and all that stuff, have birthday parties there, and converse with family or friends after Sunday or something. And this goes for any restaurant. But you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to want to live there. you don't want them standing up for you. You don't want them to mix your personal life with, I just want a burger, dude. I'm just here for the burger. Imagine it's just like the CEO level of if you imagine hey, how are you doing? Welcome to Burger King. What would you like? And you say, well, I'd like a number 2. And when the woman looks at you, instead of saying with cheese or without, she goes, I can't believe it. My boyfriend left me today. Blah 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 blah. This and that. What am I supposed to do? You're like, I don't know. That's not my problem. I'm just here for a burger. I saw the sign that said Burger King. I didn't read the sign that said Burger Problems. But this is what they're doing on a internet level, if you think about it. And I just thought it was real shitty to see all the verified tards go on there and try to say, oh, it isn't violence. I would say it's not the worst thing ever. It's not like it isn't like having acid thrown on you. But if you look at the action, no one's talking about the substance. It's the action that's violent. Actions are what's violent. It's like if you shoot somebody in the face. If you were to punch somebody in the face, people would say, well, they're not dead. But it's still violence. You're inflicting a bullet on somebody. You're inflicting force with your fist. With the milkshake, you could throw a milkshake. Oh, it's not toxic. And well, it's cold. Like I said, people want to act like it's a stream. Well, this bitch is so disconnected. The Ian Dunt doesn't even know the difference between, or he's trying to make a difference between throwing milkshakes and throwing anything. Somebody could throw, it's like, he acts like we're throwing confetti up in the air and it's landing on people and people are getting tackled. You're throwing milkshake on something. I bet that bitch would be tripping if you dump some grape wine on his white trousers while he's riding up the River Thames like a river dame. So I don't want to hear his shit. And you really can't tell me the difference between throwing boiling water on somebody versus throwing a cold milkshake, because they're both liquids. Just like how a fist to someone's face and a gunshot to the back of somebody's head are both violence. They're different levels of violence, but he's not arguing the levels. He was trying to say, and it was funny to watch somebody like him who said, well, there's a difference between throwing acid and throwing milkshake, and you're being disingenuous if you blah, blah, blah. I bet you any day of the week, we spit back 2 weeks, we go forward, we wait a little bit. If we were to monitor him here, we would see where he talks about how conservatism is a gateway to radicalism and Nazis and fascists and far right. He would believe in gateways then, wouldn't he? He would believe in the normalization of political violence then, wouldn't he? I'm not making the rules, he is. This is probably somebody that talks about Ben Shapiro or Tim Pool, God forbid, is radicalizing the whole generation. Or memes, he's probably somebody that'd go after Soph. Well, what's the difference between Soph making edgy memes and somebody going out and shooting a school up? It'll eventually get there. Well, no it can't, because you said throwing a milkshake wouldn't eventually allow people to embolden some people that want to throw acid. It's not like, it's not like Burger King's going to start selling acid in vats. That's not the point. It's the mindset. And if you can see in that, I would pull it back up, as you saw in the first article we looked at, it said throwing milkshakes has become whatever, right? Become the new way of protest or whatever the hell people do. Look. The British populist politician Nigel Farage on Monday became the third victim of an emerging trend across the pond. See, it's a trend. The milkshaking of right-wing politicians and activists. But Tommy Robinson, I love him because he'll slap somebody in the face. I think you should be able to. Farage, who leads the... And what's funny is people talk about, Muslims and Islamists, they're standing up to racist Tommy Robinson. It's funny how people will say, well, it's different. Milkshake's different than a vat of acid. It's like the people that are already trying to, cover their ass or soften the blow and get ahead of this. They already know what the people would like to throw. And so you're outing Islamists. We're not. Nobody mentioned acid. Farage, who leads the British Party. What we should do is we should stab, well, I'm not condoning this, of course, but if you were to stab all the tires of this dude's car every day so he couldn't get to work and it'd be annoying, you'd go, well, it's not violence. Well, it's destruction of property. No, well, it's not, because it didn't feel it. It's not hurting you. In fact, it's not violent at all. It's not putting you in danger. You can't even drive off. All the tires are flat. It'd be different if I loosened your lug nuts. And you squirm your way around it just to be a dickhead like him. He wouldn't like it. that Dunn guy. Farage leads the Brexit party. He left UKIP to start Brexit and tops the polls ahead of the European Parliament elections. They're scheduled for Thursday. This is old, a little old, younger in the week. Rather, the elections already happened. It was covered in a milkshake by an onlooker as he walked around the northeastern city of Newcastle. His dousing followed that of Carl Benjamin, a YouTuber better known as Sargon of Akkad, who is running as a candidate for the far-right UKIP Independence Party, which is UKIP. They're not far-right. They're just left of Stalin. And Tommy Robinson, real name, Stephen Yaxley Lennon. I didn't know that, to be honest with you. I knew he's been doxxed, but, people like me don't rush to go see it. It's kind of like with nudes, so-and-so's nudes got leaked. I'm like, yeah. And if I get around to shit like that, maybe I don't look for it, though. But, hey, we learned something today. A convicted fraudster and far-right activist. Newsweek, you cocksuckers. What is he a fraudster about? You guys are defrauding and defaming this dude's character. You can suck my dick about fraudster. Get out of here. Both men have twice been covered in Milkshake while out on the streets of Britain. While many enjoy the absurdist mimetic humor of milkshakings, it's not mimetic humor. It was mimetic when 4chan made you dumbasses think that jugs of milk, which they weren't pouring on anybody, they weren't doing, you remember, before things got political, people used to do the milk, I slipped and I dumped it. That's more destructive than people taking the OK sign or the gay flag or milk saying, yes, milk is white power because it's white. It's no different than when 4chan or somebody would say, no more avalanches allowed in Alaska. We need global warming because an avalanche is the literal symbolic representation of white power. Snow's white, avalanches are powerful, white power. And then people would probably be for global warming then. I mean, it's to prove how absurd you are. That's mimetic. This isn't mimetic. This is assault by your legal standards, not even mine. Mimetic humor of milkshakes. Some argued it has normalized acts of political violence, setting a dangerous precedent in febrile society. In a febrile, like me, no. If somebody were to go to dump milkshake on somebody and accidentally hit them with their fist while in the process, would that be violence? This is not funny and not like, I'm outraged, but they're trying to make it like, it's funny, it's lighthearted mimetic. Some people are not okay with it. It's not like you're saying, here, Mr. Farage, would you like a milkshake? Oh, too bad, and you pour it in the trash. This isn't some, here, nice to meet you. Oh, psych. Stupid bitch. Get wrecked. It's not that. You're throwing milkshakes on somebody. And people like me, and people that are farther right than me that are reactionary that you've made that way, they're going to throw shit back. It's going to be like that too. And you're not going to meet middle ground. Brexit party leader Nigel Farage has a milkshake thrown at him as he visits Newcastle upon Tyne, England during the UK tour on May 20th. Which was what? This was last Monday. The alleged Farage milkshaker was Paul Crowther, a coward, 32, whom police arrested on suspicion of common assault. And a coward is in, people's always brave because you can get in trouble for that, but they're not getting in trouble for it. I mean coward in the sense that, someone who's just such a pussy that thinks that what they did was cool. I just can't stand sanctimonious bitches. Oh, I showed them. No. Crowder told the media it was a banana and salted caramel milkshake, all from Five Guys. All because it matters. Restaurant that cost him £5.25 pounds, which is $666, which he was looking forward to the drinking, but it went to a better purpose. What is up with this, by the way? I'm glad I went back and read this. What is up with the fucking weird-ass satanic shit they always drop? What is up with that? I'm not saying that Farage and all them are in on it or something, there's some conspiracy, but why is it always shit like that? Why? I want to know. Now, there's your mimetic warfare. That's your spiritual warfare. Unhinged retards. Whether you believe in God or not, the satanic side, on my view, is people that are serving themselves as gods. What is this guy doing with the Five Guys? He's serving himself. Look, I was looking forward to drinking it, but it went better to a better purpose. Shut the fuck up. Just say I threw this shit on him and I don't regret it. You even talk like a pozzed pussy. Speaking shortly after the incident as he was detained by police, Crowther told BBC News, I didn't know Faraj was in town. I thought this was my only chance. It's a right of protest against people like him. No, it's not. The bile and the racism he spouts out in this country is far more damaging than a bit of milkshake to his front. It's not about messing up the suit. It's about destroying the political discourse in the country, which you claim that he's doing. You can no longer, this pussy, this 32-year-old bitch, balding beta male faggot that probably had soy in his milkshake, Paul Crowther, can no longer say, I just don't understand why politics has to be so visceral. Because you're adding to it, whether you think it started now or it was Faraj or it was building up to that. And you're not doing shit by that. You're like the pieces of shit when the troops came home from Vietnam and they spit on them. The people in Vietnam didn't say, yeah, let me go over there and kill. The senators sent them over there. And first of all, you're such pussies that you wouldn't spit on the senators because you know you'd get in trouble then. And so you were displacing the anger on them, and it was so you could look good. So you really don't want to fight for something. It's just like all these Antifa people. Oh, I wanna go out and raise hell and fight for my right like a rebel, but they cover their faces. You don't get the notoriety. Like with this guy, it's a fucking milkshake. I had to do what I had to do. I really wanted that milkshake, but I took one for England. It's a milkshake, you pussy. Quit acting like you're a victim. Quit acting like you're doing more than you're doing. Quit acting like you're taking the cross of the world and putting it on your back. You got a God complex. I'm more insulted by your damn candor than what you did. The fact that you think that we are who we've been waiting for. Milkshakers rise up. Faraj was reportedly heard berating his security staff for not spotting the threat in advance. I would too, because it's not going to be milkshakes. The reason that the left flips and is screaming and pulling their fucking hair out, and this is not the same, this is not the same, they know that they're eventually going to go to milkshake. What they're really saying is they're dog whistling, but not violence. They're saying, God, shut the fuck up with blowing this, because we ain't even got there yet. We haven't even got to throwing acid and stuff yet. There's Islamists. It mentioned Islamists in these articles or opinions, whichever they might be. They mentioned Islamists. Islamists are known for throwing acid attacks. Acid attacks are up in England after the importation of all these people from different cultures and different value systems. And then they want to throw fucking milk on somebody who's a little right as Stalin, who actually shares your culture. Nigel Farage, you may not like him, but he shares more English culture than one of these Islamists that you want. Yeah, you show Tommy Robinson with that milkshake. Xenophobia has no place here. Enjoy your milkshake while you're getting raped in a caliphate. That's all I'm going to say about that. But he had last posted on Twitter criticizing some of those who still support Britain remaining in the European Union. Sadly, this is Nigel Farage's quote. And I'm glad I did that. Because, look, I was doing this the wrong way. I got to get used to this still. There's Farage. See, look, why do they do this? This is what I was talking about, the 666 shit. I'll get the hang of it, guys. 5 guys. He probably fucked 5 guys, this dude. We saw the video earlier in the video. He's a bald and wiener. We went through it. I didn't go through the this bile and racism he spits out. Sadly, this is Nigel Farage. He later posted after this incident criticizing some of those that supported Remain still. Sadly, some Remainers have become radicalized. I love the spelling because there's no Z. I'm American, so it's Z to me. I'm not telling you you're wrong. It's just neat. Globalism will make us have one language, by the way. I'm just saying I'm enjoying it while we can. To the extent it'll be fucking Arabic or some shit. To the extent that normal can, or probably it'll be pedo fucking code words. We'll be talking like Pizzagate out of inclusivity. To the extent the normal campaigning is becoming impossible, so they become radicalized, he said, because they don't have an argument. For a civilized democracy to work, you need the loser's consent. Politicians not accepting the referendum result have led us to this. That's true. They don't have a plan. They're kind of like people with Trump here. Well, they're exactly like people with Trump here. Just double down, let's throw more milkshakes. And then say, well, you're the one with the problem. No, I'd actually respect somebody. Like, that's why people took a liking to the Ricky Gervais tweet, is because he's actually trying to meet somebody head on and argue with them. These people can't. If they were saying things when they were getting hauled off in the paddy wagon, which they're not. England's a bunch of cucks when it comes to the police force now, especially under Sadiq Khan as mayor of London. Especially in that area. They're not getting carted off saying, yeah, we are whatever, this and that, and we all know that this helped trade and this what. No, they're just throwing milkshakes and getting arrested. It's like the kid with the egg, Fraser Anning in Australia. He busted the egg on his head and then cried that he got in a headlock. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You want to be an adult. We are the world. We are the future. We're kids. Hear us roar. You should be able to take a punch from an old man or his security. Headlock. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth getting your ass beat, in front of the girl so she thinks you're tough? This generation thinks they can have both. This is the fucking bi generation in that sense. Videos of the assortment of milkshakes have swirled around the social media, causing both delight and disdain, inspiring copycat incidents. Oh yeah, with more likely to happen in the coming weeks. That sounds like terrorism. Copycat incidents, just the word they usually use that. The threat of milkshaking is now so real that police asked McDonald's restaurant in Edinburgh, Scotland, not to sell milkshakes before a nearby rally by Farage and his Brexit party. Sky News reported. See. And that's what prompted the Burger King thing. And I'm all for we'll sell stuff so that like with the Chick-fil-A thing I said earlier, there's a lot of companies that could make not even slights if they wanted at Chick-fil-A, saying it's okay guys, our chicken's great on Sundays. But and there's jokes like Zaxby's is only the best chicken on Sundays, and that's because Chick-fil-A is got it covered every other day of the week. But you know what I mean? Those are funny. Those are like, hey, Chick-fil-A, we're open, because they're not saying you dumb retarded Christians, because that's their personal business decision to not be on Sunday. Or some company will stop selling something, or like this, they won't. Burger King's not making that like feisty capitalistic, hey, this is where you guys can get it. We're not sold out of this video game like with GameStop versus whatever, right? Or locations of EB Games, what it used to be. They're not saying, well, we've got it here at Walmart. They're saying, hey guys, we've got milkshakes. We know that they're saying you can't have them because they're throwing them. And then saying, oh, they're delicious. Shut the fuck up. It's so insulting, it's not even funny. To my intelligence. Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, although a critic of Farage, told the radio network LBC, I think it's London Broadcasting Center or something. Let me just look it up so I can be professional. Leading Britain's conversation. See, I didn't want to disrespect you guys. I knew it was something. I knew that it was the squares. Or the rectangles. He says that the incidents, Tony Blair says, are horrible and ridiculous and people shouldn't do it. Good guy. I'm not a fan of Blair because he's like the Bush of you guys over there in the UK. He started the Iraq war and was jerking it to dropping bombs. But it's good he came out against this. And, we live in a society. We live in a society now to where normal stuff, just saying what we all should know, is like, thank God. Like Ricky Gervais. Oh, thank God. We agree. Throwing milkshakes on people is pussy. We can't even talk about the fact that I think Christianity is the way to go and he's an atheist, right? We can't talk about liberalism versus conservatism, right versus left, because we're too busy trying to fight these retards that don't know decency. And we think that we're interesting bedfellows. It's like I heard one time, people that are atheists and Christians will eventually, have to debate each other again, if God forbid, if we can ever, get Islam to fuck off of us, the Islamists and all that, because they want to kill both of us the same. So it's making us unlikely enemies or bedfellows. The enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. And I don't say enemy like you guys are. I'm against you, and I don't want what's best for people. But you know what I mean. Your adversary, I should say. It's like you hate your brother and your sister, and you're fighting each other. You're quote unquote hate. When your parents say, all right, what was going on? I'm whipping everybody in here or punishing everybody, whatever. All of a sudden, the dynamic becomes, me and you don't like each other, but let's come up with a way to get out of this together. And you still disagree. That's where we're at with these things like that, and that's where we're at with liberals and conservatives. And so it's pissing me off that we have to talk about the great milkshake debate instead of what we should do to get in and out of UK and all these other things. Blair continued, I can't stand it. I really feel very strongly about this. The guy is entitled to his point of view. I don't agree with him. I profoundly disagree with him. But we've got to get out of this situation where if you disagree with someone, you can stop them speaking. You can disrupt their meetings. You can throw things over them. It's ridiculous. Good. Nice, Blair. I can't disagree. There was also some blowback from milkshakers. Danielle Mahmood or whatever. 23 poured a milkshake over Tommy Robinson's head in Warrington, Cheshire, whichever one. After the far right leader, after the normal, decent, community-based man of his word, man of his people leader and his supporters approached him. The group then beat Mahmood Good, who was at an anti-fascist rally earlier in that day and had clashed verbally with Robinson. Anti-fascist, you motherfucker! You're using violence as a means of protest. That's fascist. You're trying to make people afraid to come out, and people say it was just a milkshake. What if somebody gets tired of getting milkshakes poured on them? You guys are all the time talking about censorship. I don't want to hear bad words. Anna Kasparian and what the fuck's her name? The feminist frequency, Anita Sarkeesian, are in the damn EU saying we just feel like giving up. All these trolls, all these people criticizing us, and we just like a way for them to be censored because you know how annoying it is for us to not feel like going on. You don't think that could eventually take a toll on somebody and say, hey, I'm tired of losing my fucking suits and I'm not going out in something that I can afford to get milkshake, but it doesn't look presentable. That's what the plan is. So don't give me this shit. It's just a harmless milkshake. It's an overall goal of getting people to get tired of getting booed at or even milkshaked or whatever. You're trying to haze people out. This is a quote. I'm a low-key person. I didn't anticipate this publicly, and I don't want it. I'm getting death threats on social media, and I am worried about me and my family being targeted. Mahmoud told the Observer. I'm not for violence, of course, because I'm criticizing them on throwing the milkshake. But what the fuck, you dumbass? And it's funny that it's an Islamic name, and it's usually backwards. That somebody gets death threats. This is it. My mistake. There's no link at all between throwing milkshake on fascists and fascists being violent in response. I mean, it took 40 seconds for Tommy Robbins to start punching.
No, you watch me. We'll show you the footage later. So you come in very aggressively. You've got over. Tommy, go on.
I love this fact. Whoever this is. Femi, you dumb bitch. Our future, our choice. See, you want somebody else to be in it. What a bitch. He was surrounded by 10 far-right thugs, intimidated, and lied about on camera. Oh, he pushies. I would do the same if someone threw it at me. I wouldn't give a shit about what color, although I do like strawberry flavor. I'll give the dude a like. This may seem harsh, right? This may seem harsh, but pussy, this is self-defense. Once somebody throws milk at you, once somebody spits on you, once somebody throws something at you, you're defending yourself. I don't care if he got a few extra hits in. And people say, oh, he was surrounded, he was scared. He put himself in that position. It said that he was coming up after a quote-unquote anti-fascist rally, yelling things at Tommy. That's being confrontational from the very beginning. Everybody knows how this works when you're fights. If you want to be a thug, be one. Don't be a pussy. The game is afoot. Look, just to be clear, anyone that comes at me with a milkshake will need the straw to eat their meals for the next few months. I don't care how many cameras roll on. You'll be getting booted up and down the street. If you just want a discussion, though, then we're good. That's funny. This is Sargon. And what I said about they want people to not come out, be able to come out while I get milkshaked, or whether you think that's fear or I just don't want to deal with it anymore, they want people to give up. And they always talk about, well, you do that to women, blah, 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 making women not feel welcome. This is making people not feel welcome. So you can't talk about it. You're not for that action because you're for it. It just depends on who it is. And it really is because they have no argument. Because if you can get Carl Benjamin, Count Dankula, Mark Meechan, or Tommy Robinson, Stefan XL, Femi. It's probably an Islamic name. See, they always stand up for each other, and we need to be standing up for each other. Us Western civilization people, we're gonna get fucked up. And the money shot.
Right, okay, good stuff.
We'll leave with this because it was lagging. Where's this bald cuck? I'd like to meet Faraj. This is a meme legend. I like his voice. This guy looks odd, but I don't think anything of him. He looks suspect as fuck. There he is. I believe people can cry all they want, but I believe in police brutality at this point. Look, this dude shouldn't be able to do this. Look. Look at this fucking faggot. Oh my god. Look. I'm smiling. I'm defeated. You should have all these people, like all these punk albums and stuff where the kid's smiling with his teeth knocked out. Like he's like, I'm accomplished. I may have got my ass whooped, but I got the girl. I may have got my ass whooped, but I talk shit to, you know, even President Reagan. You know, punk was big during the times. We did this on stage. This guy's smiling. He didn't get anything. No physical repercussions. He's probably out of jail. I don't know why he feels like he's a punk. Everything's in his favor. And oh, you really hurt Faraj. There goes another suit. And then somebody's dumbass like yours who says, my taxes pay for your suit. I'm allowed to destroy him. And then when he has to buy another suit, you can bitch about how more of my money's going to Faraj's suit. How big is his wardrobe gonna be? But you guys, tell me what you think. I think this shit's stupid. I might do another video like about something I wrote way back, and it was about political violence being normalized, and I'll fair fine. I had cunts telling me this is different because you're not marginalizing, blah blah blah. If you say most people don't agree with Faraj, like a lot of people in these tweets and stuff did, and by default we're marginalized. We're the minority, so your bullshit doesn't work. My thing is, rules for me, not for thee, or for thee, not for me. I would rather you just say that. Well, I don't think you should be allowed to have that. I don't think you should be able to have rights. It's different. It's not violence when we do it to you. Instead of some shithead like the guy on Twitter saying, well, it's not really violence because blah, blah, blah. Just say, I hate the people that it's happening to, and I'm okay with it. And when it happens to me, I'm going to cry and bitch, but fair warning. It'd be a lot better than what they're doing. Little cunts. Political Danqhouse. Don't be like these cunts. Follow your boy. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard so they can throw more milkshakes. But anyways, Burger King's canceled. It's canceled due to AIDS. Full paused. You guys have a good weekend if you're watching this, and good night, good morning, whatever you want. Don't forget to like, share, tweet, comment, subscribe. Share and sunny, as they say, and I'm out.